I want to probe more into the development of this Royal Commission into veteran suicides in Australia. There have been many people campaigning for this around the country for a long while. One of those people is Julie-Ann Finney, who lost her son David to suicide after his service in the armed forces. Thanks for joining us, Julie-Ann. I saw you on Paul Murray earlier in the week talking about this Royal Commission and how there's much yet to be decided, and you wanted to have some input into the process, the terms of reference and the like. Have you been able to have any input into the process, into the government considerations as yet?
So, first of all, that call for a Royal Commission was well received, and we're so grateful to the Prime Minister's office. But now what I've done is pulled together a panel of experts in the way of legal issues and in academics, as well as lived experience. And I have only just written to the Minister for Defence, Minister Dutton, and asked him for funding to bring that panel together. There's no further funding, everybody's giving up their time. But I think that what we need to reassure veterans, because there has been trust eroded, is that over time, those that have fought so robustly against a Royal Commission should not be called upon now to have input into the terms of reference. We really need to make sure it's those that care about veterans, that veterans have their say. And as much as I've pulled this panel together, I won't be involved in putting the terms of reference together. I'm not an expert, I'm not a veteran, but I want to make sure that it's done right. We're not going to get another Royal Commission in 2 years or 5 year time. This is a once-in-a-century event, and we must get it right.
You would have a clear idea, though, in your own head of what the key problems are here, what you want the Royal Commission to achieve. Now, presumably that is to make changes that reduce the amount of suicide in the future. Do you believe that's likely to be more about how veterans are treated and helped after their service, or is it more likely to involve changes during their service?
It's more likely to involve changes during their service. It's always been my belief that DVA shouldn't have the amount of clients that it has, but equally it should not be so difficult to navigate. So both of those issues, but certainly the culture needs to change within ADF. We absolutely need the human object of within ADF, but we don't need human rights to be abused. And, and with running the National Commissioner at the same time, this is a typical military tactic and political tactic to run as many committees so nobody knows what committee or what forum or what commission is doing what. We need to have the Royal Commission to stand alone first, a panel of experts to make the terms of reference, and then throw out from there what needs doing into the future.
You lost your son David in 2019. He suffered post-traumatic stress disorder. What changes within the military could have helped save his life?
First of all, we can listen when people are hurting and not just medically discharge them. That is the first thing that is done. We medicate them beyond belief. In nearly all cases, I hear about the medication. And certainly we should be looking at, as I said, the culture. And I've repeated it so many times, the perpetrators get promoted and the victims get discharged. We can't have that continue.
Now, there are reports today in The Australian that some injured veterans are waiting a full year, 12 months, before they get compensation for their injuries. This is another issue that must put additional stress and strain on veterans.
Please know that it's so traumatic and tragic, and then they've got families that don't know what to do for them. They just don't know what to do because that help's not available either. So yes, we certainly need a simpler system for DVA, that it can be navigated much quicker. I'm fairly certain that DVA needs more funding, and that perhaps, what the government gives out in funding should be used within DVA instead of everything being outsourced. They certainly are understaffed and, in a lot of trouble. But I believe that will all come out in a Royal Commission, that a lot of, there's ESORT, which is the Ex-Service Organisation Round Table. None of them should be involved in any way with determining what the government or what DVA should do anymore. They have failed beyond belief, and we must let lived experience tell the story now.
Well, that is the brilliant thing about the Royal Commission, if it's done properly, and the success that people like yourself have had enforcing that is that it should be able to uncover all of these issues if it's done properly. Just finally, Julie-Ann, I just wonder if you can share with us, given your experiences, what ANZAC Day means to you, what your thoughts are as we approach ANZAC Day.
ANZAC Day to me means remembering everyone who served in any capacity that is no longer with us. It means remembering them all, even whether they died of old age. Good luck to them. You know, it's just it's everybody who's ever served. Service is a big thing. It is a different way of life. It is giving up your all, even if you never deploy. And I remember and thank every one of those personnel. Well
said, Julie-Ann. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Julie-Ann Finney, whose son served this great nation and whose life was lost in 2019 as a result of post-traumatic stress disorder.